Greetings and well met, friends. Welcome back to Mythcasting, the Cycles of Exile. With some inquiries put forth since Sequent 2, from here on I think I'll take this part of the Mythcast to address any said questions. I know I'm throwing a lot at you in each sequent, so this perhaps makes more sense, especially as the format of the series continues to evolve as I move along. In Sequent 2, I briefly showed sections of the accompanying screenplay correlating and in comparison to a scene being read aloud. This appeared to please and appeal to some, so we'll continue on with this feature here and there in future sequents. Another question pertains to the timeline of events in the cycles of stories. This indeed has all been transcribed and properly set out, and will also be a part of future sequents as well. Short and sweet this week, so let me continue onward with our story in Sequent 3, The Sky Perched Citadel. Amidst the glittering night skies, among its swirling nebulous hues and the moonshine of tri-lunar bodies, the sprawling castle stronghold of Amyracraft is a vision to behold, unlike anything ever seen by humankind, most especially in its astounding construction. It is floating suspended 300 feet in the air, its very foundations fortified in surging, enchanted vapors. The sight of it manifests heroic splendor and majesty, in addition to powerful motion. Immense stone wheels spin along its walls. Chutes of water spill and pour from its parapets. Bonfires alight its glorious ramparts, reflecting into overhead mirrored fountain arches. Adding to the motion, all around Amyrakraft's highest spires and beneath its foundation of vapory rock, floating satellites spouting flames from their own small spires circle the castle like watchful sentries. Yet most importantly, thrust into the base of the stronghold's forward courtly moat walls what looks to be a 50-foot-high pillar of pulsating, finely cut rubies. Its outer edges are chiseled with 1,000 variable-sized shoulders and shanks. But it is no mere pillar. It is an etherical key, or Ilith for short. Within its mesmerizing column structure, multicolored fluid and flame throb and dance, suggesting immense power. Indeed, it's this very object that levitates the whole of the Citadel. Now, within the mighty castle's main hall, many hours of music and feasting aplenty have passed. Galantine and Halen's legion of guests have mostly departed. Those now remaining are the Regent Lynax of Vaer, Cygnus and wife Vaughn of Calypsis, the Ravenspur head marshal, the Listus Carina, and the only human John Lockmore with his wife, Listus Aurelia, who is older and grayer than young John. The talk is agreeable, but the tone has changed among these central leaders. The earlier hearty mirth has been replaced with earnest concern. Aurelia compliments her hosts on tonight's celebration being most welcome, but also fears its sentiments to be short-lived. There is murmured agreement. There follows discussion on their ruthless enemies and how they've lain idle and absent these last several years. The question Lynax of Vaer poses and that which stings all of their minds. How long before vengeance strikes back? They've waited some time for this celebration, but perhaps not long enough. And if there is at last retaliation, are the realms and provinces gathered here tonight prepared to meet it? Galantine then readily admits his invitation to those present was an ulterior reason to discuss this very thing. Aurelia sits up, decrying that it was not her intent to dredge up talk of battle and war. But the Ravenspur Marshal instead firmly states that he can rally some 8,000 or 9,000 Raven conscripts. Vaughn, the aggressive wife of Cygnus, adds that number could be augmented to another 6,000 of her husband's Calypsis mariners. This back and forth reveals how plainly evident the battle-hardened times of the last decade had more than begun to strip away the peaceful and diplomatic philosophies the Myriel people always lived by and cherished. The world of Myriad, its lands and people, had indeed begun to change. Still, the ever-Pacific Linax now tables a notion to pursue some kind of layered diplomacy should the enemy again arise. Captain Galantine stiffens, asking Linax of Aer to please consider the heavy losses his Embarwick knights took and would most certainly suffer again if any new threat were to present itself. His next words are sharply cut off with a voice that speaks clear. And what of the childlings? At this, the conversation is halted. All eyes are on Karina, the mother of Tybane, who, as mentioned, had suffered her share of personal hardships. Galantine asks curiously what they are all wondering. Childlings, listed Karina, to which Karina assures she means their own children. She admits that while battle strategy is important in its place, can it not wait until tomorrow? Here this evening, while they've gathered for this merry occasion, their own young have met for the first time. Their futures. While they now sleep, could those seated here talk of them tonight instead? The notion hijacks the politics. Cygnus' wife, Vaughn, scoffs, much preferring the plotting of battle. But Galantine's consort Halen nods, acknowledging what a refreshing sentiment Karina speaks. She shoots Galantine a glance. He sips his cup and shrugs, admitting he might have been caught up in the hard habits of more than a century in defense of the Emberclove garrison. Yes, a century, and he's even older than that. So Linax reiterates the notion. He suggests that they now share memories of their own children, their special moments, before they've yet confronted the horrors they may face. With their permission, he would care to begin. Brage now enters the chamber among the other 5 young lads and quickly senses the brewing tension. He wears a fine gilded tunic with the embarcadal crest. Around his neck is a fine locket. He's a child, but even this young, he's firmly muscled. He welcomes them all to his father's new halls. Delias rudely points straight in Tybane's face, asking if this lump, meaning Ty, really lives here. Brage replies that he does indeed. He introduces himself as the son of their host, Galantine Captain. Parian blurts out that Ty thinks he knows where one of the Ylith keys is hidden here in this citadel. Brage laughs, shaking his head. He confirms Parian's name and that he is the son of Lockmore and the Listus Aurelia. Listus is a Thorgaldric and often general honorific title similar to Milady. He then asks what stories Tybane might be filling all his newfound friends with. Tybane claims that it's the truth. He does know. Brage replies that there is indeed an Ylith key out there, thrust into the walls of this castle for protection in the open for all to see, and that it's the only key present. He asks Ty to please stop his fanciful stories. Ty sharply replies that Brage can prance on down from his fanciful chamber later tonight, and he'll show him just what's under Brage's own castle roof. But neither Brage or Tybane and their new acquaintances, nor their parents, are at all aware of the deadly peril that right now, within this immense citadel, moves upwards, ever closer to them. Some levels down near one of the castle's main entrances, in a long, torch-lit corridor, sentries stand guard at intervals. In years past, there would be no need of any guard anywhere, but Galantine had long feared what was now tonight taking place. One by one, the unsuspecting sentries are ambushed and overpowered by Grolts, who emerge from shadows in expertly trained stealth. Once again, I want to kindly thank you for spending this brief time with me to continue this story cycle. Please join me back as we'll read the adventures and journeys of the exiles in Sequent 4, The Children of Ill Fate. Until then, goodwill to you, one and all.